So I think that the breakout is a good signal, right? So we've been consolidating in price since March of this year. I think the launch of the ETFs kind of pulled forward some demand. So you had a little bit, overly high sentiment. People kind of bid it to the moon, and it takes time to kind of digest that change. And we kind of went through that. I think we would have eventually broken it either way, regardless of how the election turned out. But
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Lyn Alden delves into the complexities of Bitcoin consensus, exploring the various stakeholders involved in maintaining it, the implications of hard and soft forks, and the importance of understanding the state of mind of stakeholders. Lyn's reaction to the election, Bitcoin's price reaching ATHs, and her near-term macro outlook.
Obviously, there's even though there are Republicans, Democrats that are on both sides of the issue, and right now in American politics, the Republican side is generally more favorable toward Bitcoin than the Democratic side. There's talks about a strategic reserve, explicit statements that people should be able to custody their own coins, or and maybe even have it not be taxed. And so I generally take the under on major changes. So would I guess in 4 years from now, do we have a gigantic Bitcoin reserve, or is Bitcoin tax free? That'd be cool. I wouldn't really base my investment decision on that being the case. But in general, that I'm not making a statement around politics, but basically in terms of this specific industry, that was generally seen by the market as the more favorable choice. I think that where I'm also more conservative is around privacy. So I think that while this election had major impacts on, for example, the SEC and broader crypto securities in general, and then maybe things like Bitcoin strategic reserve and stuff, I doubt it's going to be super impactful for these problematic laws around privacy, or in some cases, not even laws, but just regulations by entities, how they interpret the law. And for example, even going after non-custodial privacy services and things like that. And so we talked about risks earlier in this. I still think one of the biggest risks of the network is kind of this anti-privacy push that the United States government and others have. And that's pretty challenging to change in the near term. I think it's going to be a longer battle. And I think even public opinion is kind of on their side at the moment, because people still have this mindset that why do you need privacy? It must mean you're up to no good, or kind of Bitcoin's only used by money launderers and druggies, and it's kind of still the mindset that a lot of people have. And that's why I think that education is so important, and the work you're doing to keep educating about it.
Crypto market capitalization has reached a new all-time high of $3.12 trillion, close to surpassing France's gross domestic product. On November 11, total crypto market capitalization soared 7% over 24 hours, mostly on a surge in Bitcoin, which rallied to $89,500. If the crypto market were a country, it would be the 8th largest in GDP terms, behind the United States, China, Germany, Japan, India, the United Kingdom, and France. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's market cap alone is now over $1.77 trillion, larger than Spain's GDP, according to the International Monetary Fund. The last time the total crypto market cap was at $3 trillion was November 15, 2021, shortly after Bitcoin reached its previous all-time high of $69,000 in the 2020 to 2021 bull market, according to CoinDeco, which tracks 15,129 coins from 1,149 crypto exchanges. The crypto market cap is now larger than that of tech giant Microsoft and is closing in on Nvidia and Apple, the world's two most valuable companies, Google Finance data shows. The Bitcoin price rally also pushed its market cap above that of silver again on November 11. Speaking to Cointelegraph, founder of 10x Research, Marcus Thielen, said he expects Bitcoin dominance to remain strong as the crypto market cap moves toward $4 trillion. We anticipate Bitcoin's dominance to remain strong, with the current rally primarily centered on Bitcoin and extending toward Ethereum and Solana. We firmly expect Bitcoin to reach $100,000 before year-end. A Bitcoin price tag of $100,000 would take its market cap to nearly $2 trillion. Not everyone agrees with Thielen. Rachel Lucas, a crypto analyst at BTC Markets, told Cointelegraph that a crypto market rally toward $4 trillion would likely be driven by a massive surge in altcoins, thus causing a decline in Bitcoin's dominance. Thielen also said a few Solana-based tokens may outperform the market and many high performers from the 2020 to 2021 bull cycle may underperform. Bitcoin is currently priced at $89,478, up 11% over 24 hours and within striking distance of crossing the $90,000 mark.
In general, I'm pretty bullish for 2025. I think that liquidity is probably going to be pretty good over the next 12 months. And I generally expect Bitcoin to probably be higher 12 months from now than it is now. Obviously, no guarantees, but that's kind of my base case at the current time. And I think that one of my kind of macro views on the election is that nothing stops this train, which is to say that there are people that are pretty convinced we're going to see a big budget reduction or something like that, and I don't really see that as likely. When we look at major areas of government spending, it's mostly actually not on, kind of certain bloated government employee areas. It's actually these really big core areas, things like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, defense, and interest. And that kind of alone is like 100% of tax receipts. And one of the things I found interesting is that you've had somewhat of a shift in the Republican Party over the past decade, which is if you go back a decade, that was kind of the Paul Ryan era, which was, kind of a more push toward trimming some of those areas. Whereas, for example, the 2024 Republican platform officially said we don't want to touch Medicare or Social Security. We don't want to reduce it or increase the retirement age, which used to be more of a Democrat position. And so if there are certain aspects where the current Republican Party has shifted a little bit more toward like what we see in like European conservative movements, which is that they might be a little more social conservative than there are other parties there, but they're not necessarily super fiscally conservative. There's different parts in that kind of political spectrum that politicians and voters can fall on. And so I generally assume that deficits are probably going to continue, but I'm going to monitor bills and legislation as they come up and see how this goes.
Donald Trump's election victory in the United States is unlikely the main story behind Bitcoin's recent pump, with an analyst pointing instead to a post-halving supply shock. If you're wondering what's happening with Bitcoin, yes, the incoming Bitcoin-friendly administration has provided a recent catalyst. But that's not the main story here, said on-ramp Bitcoin co-founder Jess Myers in a post on X on November 11. The main story here is that we are 6+ months post-halving. The Bitcoin halving in April cut block rewards from 6.25 BTC to 3.125 BTC, which means every next block becomes harder to solve for less reward. Myers added that this means a supply shock has accumulated. There's not enough supply available at current prices to satisfy demand, and supply-demand price equilibrium must be restored. Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, introduced in January this year, have exacerbated that demand. On November 11, U.S. Bitcoin ETFs saw another huge day for inflows, with around 13,940 BTC purchased in one day compared with just 450 BTC mined. The only way to do that is for the price to go higher, which will flywheel into mania and a bubble, but that's how this thing works. He added that it sounds crazy to say there will be a reliable and predictable bubble every 4 years, but there has never been an asset in the world where new supply creation is halved every 4 years. A post-halving bubble is the result, he said, highlighting that this happened before after halvings in 2012, 2016, and 2020, and now it is happening again, and prices will go much higher. On-chain analyst James Check echoed the sentiment, comparing Bitcoin's market cap to gold, which has added about $6 trillion over the past year, but has hundreds of billions of new and recycled supply coming to market. Bitcoin is just $1.6 trillion in market cap, and is absolutely scarce with holders who have been through hell many times, so it will go higher, he predicted. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.